and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox. Sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James Shea, alongside Kaliko Yas.
If you're listening to this right now, may you be super drunk, super happy, and super full because it's WrestleMania weekend, and it is the greatest weekend of all time. Greatest weekend of all time. Greatest week of all time. Better than the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Amen.
And your wallets will have black holes in them.
Oh yeah, I'm here. So it's about to be my wallet's already asking me Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Well, it was a good week for wrestling with as last week on this. Last Tuesday we interviewed the Stoner Bros, and Wednesday we interviewed Murillo, D'Angelo. Two incredible interviews. Definitely worth going back into the archives and checking those out. But that brings us to this upcoming Tuesday. We have Robin Zane, one of the pioneers of Philippine pro wrestling, was one of the originators of Manila Wrestling Federation. We talk about that, his relationship with the other pioneers of Philippine pro wrestling. An upcoming, a big match that he had upcoming up. Kind of getting back into being serious about promoting Philippine pro wrestling. Travel buddies, a missed adventure in Thailand, and a lot more. You definitely want to go check that out. And then this upcoming Wednesday, we have Mr. Philippine Pro Wrestling, Jake De Leon. Right up there with Robin Zane. This kind of unintentionally a companion piece to that. We talk about his experiences in Philippine Pro Wrestling, matches against TJP, Zack Sabre Jr. That one time he murdered Crystal. Being in a movie on Netflix. Voice acting. Friend of the show Ken Warren. And a hell of a lot more. There's a lot of great content that goes into that interview. Cannot recommend either enough, but don't take my word for it. Here's some clips now.
Yes, traveling with her is a breath of fresh air because I sense no I sense no awkwardness talking to her. This is just like talking to a longtime friend that I never really knew. Something like that.
And she remembered to bring the gaming cup of ramen, no?
Oh wow! How do you know? Wow, you have a very good research team there, or you yourself. That was very good. So okay. I'll give you that. Yeah, yes. Yapi did bring gaming Nissin Cup Blue, so that was surprising. Okay.
I what?
You murdered her once with a super
I
kick.
yeah. I mean, I think I've hit her with a super kick a lot of times now. Maybe close to hundreds of times already.
And referring to the one to the back of the head.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one that went viral. God, yeah, the one during the MWF days where it went viral. That the funny thing is like people were actually like sending me death threats over it for kicking Crystal in the head. Like, dang, okay, I guess it worked.
So you got that Freddie Blassie heat.
Yeah, I did. I was surprised too. Like, I was surprised at how viral it went, and like apparently even friends of friends, even friends of my girlfriend's friends who aren't really like pro wrestling fans were sharing it around, and like, I see. Well, now they know who your boyfriend is.
Alright. And then next week on the show, next Monday, because we are at the ending of the month once again, we have the Wild Man Hemo. On Tuesday, we have Beano Blue, and on the 30th, we have Joya. Alright, so it's definitely a great day for wrestling, because as we speak, NXT Stand and Deliver is probably going on, and WrestleMania is in a couple of hours. So
Let's go, Thea. Let's go, Thea.
yeah,
Did I call it or did I call it?
you definitely called that. You 100% called that one. But yeah, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Instead of doing the news, which is somewhat negative this week, hashtag WWE PR, we we are wrestling with WWE's top 50 greatest WrestleMania matches. It was on YouTube since the last couple of months, and they've been slowly releasing in the last couple of days, every day, another match, accumulating to number one. Depending on who you ask, this list is not maybe as good as it could be. So we're gonna go. Yeah. So we're gonna be going through this list, and we're going to be talking about this list. And we might even be rearranging this list as well. So
I say it needs a makeover. Makeover, Bessie.
yeah. Oh, we're your queer eye for the straight wrestler.
There you go. Makeover, Bessie.
So are you ready,
It's
Kaliko?
that time. I am dead. I've been dead ready since this bitch came out. When they started trickling it, I was already ready.
Well, I mean, we couldn't have necessarily done it until this point. All 50 matches are released, so we couldn't necessarily shit on it until we had the full story. We needed to.
I was shitting on it when Goldberg and Lesnar made the list. Like that's and that's like in the 40s. I'm like, find a better match than that.
Well, let's get into it. Number 50. Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 38. Personally, I think this was a great match. I think their Backlash match was a lot better, but just overall shock value and atmosphere of the night, I do think that I would say this is a top 50 match. I would give this the benefit of the doubt and say it's a top 50 match. But what say you, Kaliko?
I'm gonna be fully disclosure, considering I'm a WrestleMania vet, and I've probably been at a handful of these WrestleMania matches that are on there. So it's going to somewhat skew my what my thoughts are of these matches. But this one is a good one to start. I mean, 50, you had to have been there when Cody popped up, because I still remember the whole thing of Seth being pissed that he didn't have a match and he wanted to match. And Seth at that time is the same time what Randy was at now. And everybody's like, well, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Everybody kind of knew it was going to be Cody, but until he showed up,
Right.
And to do that on night one, which was the night Austin and Owens pay-per-view, that tells you how jam-packed of a WrestleMania that was. Or that night was, night one.
I definitely agree with that. So right now this is at 50, so maybe we should leave it at 50 for the moment until we get a little closer.
It's a solid 50. I would get 50, considering all the matches. That's a good bar because it was a shocking return. Although I've seen other matches with shocking returns that didn't make this list.
Yeah, the Hardys, right?
The Hardys, yep, the Hardys returned at 33, which was a whole clusterfuck of a shock. It was like, what the fuck? Like, and that's why I think that one was a little bit better because they had literally just wrestled the Bucks the night before. So you wouldn't even have thought that was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this one, the dirt sheets kind of ruined it, but that one was way out of left field. So that's why I say it's a good bar. I would put the Hardy Shock up higher, but when you think about the match, you really don't think about the match. So, I mean, Cody still had a good match with Seth, so that's why it's probably a little higher.
Right, and I don't think they wanted Enzo Amore on this list either. So there's that as well.
I mean,
no hate from me on Enzo, but WWE has tried to kind of erase him, so to speak.
no, they're erasing Benoit. Enzo's just being not mentioned. There's a difference.
There's not a lot of expunging need to be done with Enzo, if I'm being honest.
That's what I'm saying. Although he was one of the most popular cruiserweight champions. Okay, let's get back on.
Number 49, Sting versus Triple H, WrestleMania 31.
I don't think this one should have made the list.
Explain why.
Because other than the NWO DX part, what was the biggest factor of that match? Other than all that shenanigans shit that happened the last 10 minutes, what else was there? Because I could make the argument Seth and Randy Orton was a better match at that Mania than that one.
I would agree with that. And it gave us one of the best RKO moments of all time as well.
Right. This one was more of a nostalgia because it was the first time you were able to get all these old fossils in the same ring at the same time. But other than that, do you really remember the match itself?
I agree with that, but
we were both there.
Yeah.
So we were both there. That's the fun part too.
It was Sting's first ever WWE match. So and it was at WrestleMania. Wouldn't that attribute a little bit to it to just say, well, it was Sting's first and only WrestleMania match?
So, if that's the case, then I guess Mr. T, who is higher on this list, was better than Sting, is what you're saying.
Well, Mr. T had 2 WrestleMania matches.
But what I'm saying is, but the one that everyone remembers is the first one.
Right.
But to me, I get why it's there, but other than Triple H's intro, and I went back and watch, you know what we should do too? Sidebar. Quick little sidebar. We need to do a check mark for every WrestleMania you and I were there at. Just to see how many, Mania, out of all these Mania matches, how many we've been to.
I've been to 2 WrestleManias. 31, 39. That's it.
Come on, man. I've been to... Yeah, you might as well go ahead and put some check on these, bitch. Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, bro, yeah, I've been a hell of a lot of these goddamn matches. Anyways, but I mean, other than Triple H's entrance and the shenanigans at the end, I really don't remember it.
Um,
49, I would replace it with Orton Rollins, because that was key storyline. Hell, even the ladder match that Daniel Bryan won would have been a better match. To me, just me. It was a good match, but it was not the match of 31.
Unfortunately, we're only going to be adding matches that are switching numbers around, not necessarily adding matches. But
well, then that bitch should be 50. Odie Rhodes, in my mind, then Sting Triple H 50, Rhodes Seth goes above.
Okay, so we're putting Seth and Cody over Triple H and Sting.
Because seriously, because other than the beginning and the end, what else do you remember from that match? And I dare people to do that. I was there, that hot ass sun blocking in my face.
It was all in our faces.
Block. And I had to go into this. Well, damn, this sounds bougie. I had to go into the club because I had the club seats back when club seats were $200 a pop. Thank God. Oh my God. And I was at the bar watching that match because it was hot as fuck.
Well, that brings us to number 48, The Rock versus John Cena, WrestleMania 28. The once in a lifetime match that they did twice in 2 years.
Which is why it's going down. Cody and Seth. The fact that you reneged, you're going down, sir. Fuck that. Seth Cody gets a lot more credit than what it. Don't get me wrong, Rock Cena was dope until they did it again. That's where they fucked up. If they had just left it alone, but Cena had to get that get back and fucked over Punk's title reign to do it.
Okay, so, but we could probably both agree that the 28 match was better than the 29 match, right?
Yes, because you knew who was going to win the 29 match.
Right.
That was the problem. The fact that they even ran it back was the problem because we were like, okay, we know Cena's winning. It was kind of a given at that point.
Okay, so we could both agree that Seth versus Cody was a better match than Rock Cena. But was Triple H and Sting a better match than Rock and Cena?
No. Because Rock and Cena didn't have all the shenanigans of Triple H and Sting.
Right, it was just them wrestling. It was just the two of them.
Pretty much. It was just the two of them. So I give them the edge. Honestly, it's a lot of negative points because they ran it back. But the simple fact that it was a one-on-one match is why it really hangs on and there was no shenanigans. Or no nefarious shenanigans like the NWO and fucking all of DX, because X-Pac was sitting there in the middle. It's funny because X-Pac and goddamn Shawn Michaels were in both, and we're like, who the fuck they finna root for? Who the fuck they going with? You know what I'm saying? So that's why it fucking threw me off, right?
Right, so we got 50 Triple H and Sting, 49 Cena versus Rock, and 48 Seth versus Cody.
I think Cody, they moving on up.
Yeah, I mean even I could already tell that setting Cody's gonna move up now. Number 48. Number 47. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 33.
Put a check mark. I was there. Two men slapping meats for like 5 minutes. It's going up. You can bet your ass. Yep. Way better match. Even though Brock won, it was, I will say this, it was carnage, to say the least. I will say this. They did do a lot of wrestling match moves, but in what they did, it actually made sense in the match. If that makes sense. However, that's Triple H, but Seth and Cody goes up. Brock, honestly, I would say Goldberg and Lesnar drops below Rock Cena.
I would say Triple H and Sting was better than Brock and Goldberg. I don't even remember the match between Goldberg and Brock, if I'm being completely honest.
It was like 5 minutes. I was there. It felt like 5 minutes. It felt like 5 minutes. It probably was. I mean, let me pull it up on YouTube, because I'm pretty sure I'm telling you, if that match, I swear to God, I think that match was roughly a good 5 minutes. And if I remember right, I mean, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, 14 minutes. Shit. All right.
That is 10 minutes way too long.
I mean, the entrance was roughly, actually, the entrance was half of it. So 7 minutes of hell. Bingo. So, yeah, that's going down to 50.
Yeah. Okay, so Brock and Goldberg, 50. Triple H versus Sting is at 49 at this point.
Yes. As much as I hate the shenanigans of Triple H thing, it actually had wrestling in it.
And there was, a story.
Yes. We can agree.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that. Okay, so the next one, I get it, but it might be, a wild card in all of this. Mr. T and Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff, WrestleMania 1. I get why it's on the list. I could understand that this is a sentimental, and, obviously, it kicks off the whole thing. I mean, WrestleMania wouldn't be WrestleMania without this match. So I couldn't even make the argument that this is too low on the list, and it should maybe be higher, because of its significance to wrestling history. And look here, I mean, it wasn't that bad of a match. But what say you?
I mean, it wasn't that bad of a match, and disclaimer, I wasn't there because I was born the year this happened. So I have to pull that disclaimer out my ass. But when you think about it, no one's really going, hey, let's go watch Mr. T versus Hulk Hogan. I mean, I get why it's here, because it's a sentimental favorite, and it's hard to go, yeah, let's go against the sentimental favorite, right?
Right.
With that being said,
you're going against the sentimental.
We're looking at the match itself. The match itself. And this is where we have to be critical. The match itself wasn't the greatest. We could name at least 4 matches that are not on this list that we think were better than this match.
I mean, we could we could say name more matches that were better, but I mean, if we're going with pure wrestling, then yeah, obviously it's not going to stack up against, let's say, Seth versus Cody. But if we're talking about storylines, I mean, this was the hottest storyline back in the day, and
The only storyline back in the day.
I mean,
I rented these VH tapes. I may not have been there, but I was in Blockbuster renting these tapes, and god damn it, I be damned.
I think we should keep Mr. T and Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff at 46 for the time being.
Ooh, so below Seth Cody?
For storyline and historical significance, yes, I would say so.
Then it should be number one if that's the case. Like, shit.
Um, I mean, it doesn't need to be number one, but it shouldn't be as low as it is, in my opinion. Where would you stack it with what we have here right now? Where would you stack it?
Considering where it is right now, it would be right below Seth Cody.
Okay, so at the 47 mark.
I would say 47 until otherwise we see, because there could be some matches on here that we think go way down.
I agree with that, but let's leave it where it is right now, because obviously we'll be cooking in a little bit. We'll
let me.
Do you realize that we're only 5 matches in and we're 25 minutes into this video?
Let me get my bottle then, because we're just gonna be here a minute. All right, people. This is before Mania too, by the way. So
yeah,
enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 45. The Undertaker versus Batista, WrestleMania 23. I would say that this would probably be higher on the list. This was a banger.
That was a banger. I mean, this was Batista's best match. Best Mania match by far.
I mean, from what we have already, yeah, I would definitely say that this was the best match so far.
On this list, yeah, that was the best match on this list so far. And the storyline, but no storyline needed. It was just a freak of nature versus the street.
Right. All right, so we agree. Let's leave it at 45 for the moment.
Yes.
All right. See, we could have civil conversations.
I mean, we're civil, don't we? And yeah, I was not there for that.
We definitely needed a Scooter to be like the tiebreaker between the three of us.
Oh my god, yes, we need a tiebreaker so goddamn bad.
Yeah. Number 44, Seth Rollins versus Triple H, WrestleMania 33.
I was there.
And honestly, I don't have an opinion on this match. It was okay. The only thing I remember was Seth's entrance and Stephanie taking a table bump, and that's literally it. So, in my opinion, this could go down to maybe 49, if I'm being completely honest.
Wow. I mean, Seth and Triple H was good considering the storyline. The match was okay. But we also have to keep in mind that Seth was wrestling with a fucked up knee at that point.
Right.
So, if he's got a fucked up knee and he made 44, and we got Cody and Seth, and that's a healthy one, I could put it above it. Cody Seth above this, yes.
100%.
So that and that just tells you how good Seth was, because Seth had a fucked up knee, and it made it above the match that he had like 100% healthy, which is crazy. Unless there's, just figure out how much Triple H influence had on this goddamn list. Anyway,
Right. Like I said, I don't have that fond memories of this match. I mean, it was a while ago. I would obviously put it under Triple H and Sting. But where would you?
yeah, I would, because the match it was okay, but it wasn't memorable, and that's what. So yeah, I would agree there, because I can remember, as much as I think Sting and Triple H was a clusterfuck of just interference. You can remember that shit.
I agree with that. So, Seth versus Triple H at 49.
Yeah, what's 50?
Brock and Goldberg.
Okay, all right. As long as it's if it's above there, I'll let her off.
Okay. Okay. So.
Fuck, Scooters, rest in peace. We need your ass for a tiebreaker, because I'm sitting here trying to make sure my blood don't boil and shit. Fucking A, rest in peace, my guy. First WrestleMania without you, man. We miss you.
Yeah, I just wonder what he would be so pissed about the triple threat match being the main event. He would say, "There's no reason for it to main event." I know he would say.
But I remember him being a Punk. Well, he was never really a Punk guy.
I don't remember him being pro or honestly anti. He was just kind of in the middle. He gave benefits of the doubt.
Yeah, but I would think he'd get the benefit of the doubt. But all right, next match.
All right, we have John Cena versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 23. This is number 43, I should say.
Definitely Cena's best one-on-one match.
I agree with that.
Probably I would
better than
argue
Rock and Cena, I would say.
Definitely better than Rock and Cena. Although I think the match that they had the night after was better than the match that they had at Mania.
I will agree with that. Simply for the fact that Shawn Michaels won that match.
No shit, right? I think this was at the time where people were okay with Cena, but they were getting tired of Cena.
I mean, Chicago already knew what was up with Cena because they booed him out of the building at 22.
I mean, because their homeboy, 23 was in Chicago, right?
22 was in Chicago. 23 was in
Okay,
Detroit.
that was Triple H. So yeah, because, their boy was on the Gangsta Talk. That's why.
Okay, so this is a tough one.
Tricky. I would keep it where it's at. I think it's moving up, personally.
All right, I will agree. I will agree with that for now.
It will stay because I see a couple of matches going down, and it's just gonna be
Okay.
But it's gonna be tough because I'm looking at them now. I'm like, okay, go.
Number 42. Mick Foley versus Edge, WrestleMania 22.
Cena and Michaels above it.
Okay, so we have okay, well, the list is kind of messed up right now, but I will get this right.
It's because it's our fault. It's all our fault.
Just for anybody that's wondering, I have a a document sheet open, and I'm typing this as we're talking.
I
Okay,
mean, I can hear them keyboards from Afghanistan, sir.
I'm trying to do it fast. Yeah, my dyslexia is kicking in at this point.
Oh my God. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You got this. You can do it.
It's WrestleMania 22. Okay. Alright, now we have 41, which I feel is an interesting one. Undertaker versus AJ Styles, WrestleMania 36. 1000% the most interesting and most memorable match from WrestleMania 36. Um, I would leave it at 41 for the time being. What say you?
It's it's weird because it's a match that wasn't a match. It was an
Right.
action movie. By definition, it should not be on the list because it wasn't a match. Which, I mean, hold on, because I'm gonna have to look this up. Which tells me, like, it's weird that that match is on there, but Cena Wyatt didn't make the list.
Because that match was
And
the
to me,
drizzling
that
shits.
you say what?
That match was the drizzling shits.
Cena Wyatt at 36?
At 36, it was the drizzling shits. 100%.
That was the most entertaining match. Okay.
The Firefly Funhouse match was the drizzling shits. No one will
It
be
was.
able to change my mind.
I refute that. I rebuke. I rebuke. I rebuke. My screensaver is John Cena walking out with the NWO title. How dare you? How dare you, sir?
I've never said this to you ever before, but you fucking mark. John Cena with the NWO belt as your screensaver.
Yeah. Yeah. My screensaver. That shit was fucking good. Fuck what you heard. I mean, shit. If this is on the list, that's the number.
Okay, so
Logical than anything. But anyways, back to this one. You put above
Kaliko?
Steve Michaels, and that's the yeah.
Okay, there you go. You were breaking up there for a while, for a bit.
Oh, well, the question is, do we put this match above Cena Michaels and Batista Taker? See, this is the
Well, currently Mick Foley versus Edge is over Mick Foley and Edge is over Undertaker and Batista. So I mean,
swap it, just swap it, because that should not be the case. We should have been not diligent. We are not diligent enough.
okay.
Yeah, no. But Batista Taker could be a better match than Foley is.
No, I agree with that. Okay, so
See, and then now the question is Taker Styles better than Cena Michaels and Batista Taker? Because that would be the two matches below it, if I'm not mistaken.
okay, so hear me out. Storyline and significance, I would say yes, it is.
We need a fucking tiebreaker. We need a goddamn tiebreaker. I'm already thinking, like, bro, we need a tiebreaker. But then again, I'm looking at it as far as major significance, because both of those matches that you're putting above it were world championship main event matches.
But it was Undertaker's last match, and one of the most
It
significant.
wasn't a match. It wasn't a match. It was a fucking movie.
It was more of a match than the Firefly Funhouse was.
Bro, both of them were movies. We gonna flip a coin on this. You know what? Where is it at? We're gonna have to do the flip a coin. You call it, sir. Heads or tails.
I think that Undertaker and versus AJ Styles, for storyline and significance and historical significance, would be over Shawn Michaels and John Cena. That's
I don't think those matches would be over either. So that's why I said flip a coin. Call it, sir.
Do I even have a fucking coin here? Here we go.
I got the app, sir. Just call it.
Oh, so you're using your gimmicked phone?
I'm just using a phone. You can Google flip a coin and it just does it. I mean, and I just flip it, and when I say I'm flipping it, you just call it.
Fine.
1, 2, 3.
Heads.
I'm flipping it. Heads.
Heads.
Heads it is. You fucking win. You fucking win. You fucking blood pressure boiling right now. God damn it.
Now we go to number 40. Which I'm sure is going to cause more controversy. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 31. I think we could both agree that this was the best match that they had out of their dream matches at WrestleMania. No?
Is that Roman and Lesnar, or?
Yeah. Roman Lesnar 31. The heist of the century.
Okay. I was there at 31. 34 was disappointing. So 34, people were like, at that time, still kind of... 34, they were indifferent. Because they didn't want Lesnar to have the title, but they did want Roman to win it. So it was kind of like, 38, everyone kind of knew Roman was that guy. But, I mean, they knew it, but they just didn't think it would morph into what it is now, if that's the case. Because 38, they still were happy that Roman won, but they weren't sold on the tribal chief shit yet, if that makes sense.
I don't even think it was a matter of the tribal chief shit. I just think that Brock and Roman just didn't have good chemistry, if I'm being completely honest.
Because I think their match at SummerSlam was better than any of these matches.
Because there was Gaga involved. Whenever you have, weapons and tractors and, things to distract from the actual wrestling, it's going to be...
No, they've had two matches. Not the one in Nashville, but the one in Brooklyn.
The SummerSlam match.
Yes.
Okay, but... Well, okay, so... The thing about this match is not necessarily Roman versus Brock. It's that set cashed in, the heist of the century. So, does...
The only cash in.
Right. So, do we put that up... Do we keep that at 40 and see where we go coming up? Or do we put Undertaker versus AJ Styles over it? I feel like I already know what you're going to say.
You better not put Styles and Taker over that shit. The only cash in at Mania. The first cash in at Mania, other than Damien.
Yes.
There's only been two.
But Seth ended the night with the cash in. And he's the only person to do that.
The only one to do it.
Okay. Alright, so Brock and Roman at 40. Now we have Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, WrestleMania 39. Obviously,
You both were at these matches. Check mark. Both 40 and 39. And then you could put both of us at 36 because we were both on the couch. See, you've been to more than that. You've been to more than one.
This was definitely more recency bias, I'll say. But that being said, it was a fucking banger of a match, to say the least.
It was.
So, leave it at 39?
I would put Rollins over it because of the implication.
Okay, so a switch 39 with 40.
Yes, me personally. And keep in mind, I mean, we think Cody and Seth hit his ceiling.
I don't think it has. I think it will be rising again.
I mean, because I'm still got two matches in the back of my head, which is Cena, Shawn, Batista, Taker. Both at Trend at 23, by the way.
But what's going on? Okay, I understand. Okay, yeah, and Cody Seth is gonna I think Cody and Seth is gonna make a comeback as well. It's just a matter of getting a couple of these matches, out first.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get to the next one. 38, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle. There's a lot of sentimental with this one, honestly. I would leave this at 38 for the time being. What say you?
Yeah, we'll keep it there for now.
Okay. WrestleMania 37. Oh, no. Number 37. Undertaker versus Triple H, WrestleMania 27.
27.
Yeah.
I
would put...
This one would be lower because the other match is in there and it's higher, so I would put it lower. It's a rematch.
No, this is the first match. This is the one where Triple H slams Undertaker with a chair 100 times.
Right. My thing is this: is that the rematch was better than the first match.
I agree with that.
So then, to me,
honestly,
no, go ahead.
I would put this at 47. I would even maybe put it at 48. Because while yes, it's memorable, it was not the best match. It was just Triple H banging the Undertaker with a chair for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, honestly. Maybe it was a half hour.
Yes. So we can agree it's going to go low. There you go. Drop it down. So everything else shifts up, which means I still think Cena. I mean, as long as it's below Cena, Michaels, and Batista Taker, I'll take it.
Okay, so is it below Triple H and Sting?
Ooh. Both have memorable moments. because you remember Taker being on the stretcher for the first time.
Wasn't the first time he was on a stretcher, but it was.
No, I'm talking about this first time on the stretcher at Mania.
No, he was on the stretcher for 9 when with John Gonzalez.
Oh gosh, we don't count that, sir. We don't count John Gonzalez. Sting. I mean, either way, Triple H is winning, so it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah. Sting Triple H above it.
Is Triple H versus Seth better than Undertaker versus Triple H?
Ooh.
I say no. I say that it.
No, because Seth had a better match that night. I'm remembering that night. Yeah, Seth had a better match that night.
Okay,
That match was a better match.
So Undertaker versus Triple H will be 49 on this list for us. So that's our first big shift in the list so far.
We haven't even gotten what? Oh, Lord Jesus! All right, let's go.
Yeah, and this list is already looking fucked for me when it comes to writing things down.
Oh God, I know. I mean, you should have just copy paste from the list, sir. Control C, Control V.
You know, I'm trying, but like, it's not working.
I mean, carpal tunnel is a motherfucker. Trust me, I know.
Okay, so number 36, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, WrestleMania 38. I will say that this was a great match. And the storyline going into it was pretty good as well.
Checklist me there. Yeah, I was there.
Would I put it above a lot of the matches here? Probably not. But, you know, that is just, you know, biased on my part, if I'm being completely honest. But I do think that it would be over a lot of, some of these matches as well.
Being there, being at that building when it happened, you still kind of felt the sting from what happened at SummerSlam that year. And the fact that it was an immediate callback to that showed you that how much it scarred everyone at the beginning of the match. So that was a good thing. The match proved that Bianca belonged. Is it better than... Although, as much as I like this match, Seth cashing in at the end of the night, it tops it, bro.
Okay, so, is Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus better than this match?
No.
Okay, so Brock and Roman at 38, Becky and Bianca at 39. Okay.
That's acceptable. That's acceptable. I'll take that.
Okay. That brings us to
35.
35. Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, WrestleMania 35. Kofi Mania.
As a black man, this should be top 10. just throw my bias out there. My black ass, I ain't gonna lie to you. As a black guy, this was top 10. But him winning the title in New York, all those New York niggas out. Yo, son. Okay, Tim's. Stop. Let me stop. Keep going. You proceed. I don't want to get all Malcolm X New York on cats.
I'll ask you one question. Tell me one move or one setup of the whole match.
One move or one setup when Kofi hits the fucking Trouble in Paradise.
Did he hit the Trouble in Paradise?
If I remember right, yeah. But you also look at, like you say, the storyline. Kofi having to go through all these hoops that Daniel Bryan didn't have to. I mean, that Daniel Bryan did go through. So he went through twice as many hoops Daniel Bryan did to get to 30, which is funny.
Let's leave this at what are we at 35?
I mean, yeah, it'll be above. It's above Bianca.
Let's leave it there for right now. Okay, so then we have 33, Randy Savage versus Ric Flair. Actually,
34.
34.
30.
Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 24.
Yeah, that's gonna stay. We can agree.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the match has depreciated over the years.
I mean, depreciated because Ric Flair hasn't retired. That's the only reason it fucking will depreciate. Because Ric Flair ass keeps coming back 13 times. But yeah, other than that, I mean, shit. That would have been the perfect way to go out with his tooth kicked out.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
But no, Ric Flair had to go to TNA. But no, Ric Flair had to have his other retirement match
His
with
10th
Jay
final
Lethal
match.
in New Orleans. No shit. Like, this. Hey, Jeff Jarrett. Like, come on, man. Honestly, the more I'm talking, the more this is killing that match.
You're like, I'm sorry, I love you. Just
I'm sorry. I love the match, but Flair, you fucked up the ending of this. It's going down. It's gotta go down. This is a retirement match when the motherfucker don't retire. Like, come on, son. Like, shit. Or are we taking into context at that time?
I think we'll leave it at where it is just for the time being, and we'll figure it out as we go along.
Oh, PC police over here. Yeah. All right.
33, Randy Savage versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 8.
Michaels and Flair was better than Savage and Flair.
We could agree with that, yeah.
So, there we go. Flip flop.
Alright. WrestleMania, well, actually 32, is Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, and Batista from WrestleMania 30.
Keep it where it's at. It might move up.
I would disagree with that, but let's keep going.
You don't think it's moving up?
I don't think it's moving up.
What?
Yes. This is what we need a scooter for. 31, Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, WrestleMania 32.
I will go to my grave. That is a top 10 match. Argue with your mama. That's a top 10 match.
I will say it's maybe top 15. I wouldn't necessarily go top 10.
I mean, is it better than Charlotte Rhea? at 39?
Probably yes.
Is it better than Hogan Warrior?
I mean, a lot of things are better than Hogan Warrior.
I mean, I'm just saying, is it better than Hogan Andre?
Historical significance, I'd say no.
They're both historical significance. This was the women's championship.
Yes, but 93,000 people when you didn't have that type of crowds for pro wrestling events.
Fuck that. Top 10. It's better. I mean, Rousey, Flair, Charlotte, better than that.
Oh no, this is definitely a lot better than that one.
So then it's top 10 because guess who's number 10? Top 10. I proved my case. I proved my case. Your Honor, the defense rests.
Yeah, I have
Just
no idea.
shoot that bitch to 10, because if you think it's better than that match, it just might as well just put 10 on next to it, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, I have no idea how we're going to organize this, because this list is already completely fucked.
Just put asterisk 10, and then we'll go from there. We'll leave it there, but keep in mind that's a top 10 match, according to me. Anyway.
Number 30, The Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, WrestleMania 39. In my opinion...
Oh, man, hold on.
Yep.
Check mark. We both were there,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was at 32, and then I was at the Orton Batista match. Damn, I feel like I've been at a lot of these. I was at the Kofi Mania, I was at the Bianca Belair. God damn. Anyways. But Usos, Sami Zayn, the first tag match, the main event for the tag titles.
Personally, and
that was a good match.
I'll say I have bias for this match because I was there, and I have a bias for KO. I have a soft spot for Kevin Owens as well. And this storyline,
I will say this: that match was just the aura of the crowd was. You cannot knock it. That at 30, I felt like that was a top 15.
This even might be top 10, if I'm being completely honest.
You son of a bitch. Rollins on top 10. But the Usos, Kevin Owens in top 10. Hey, what crack you smoking? Okay, so, I need what you get.
Hear me out.
The
storyline between Sami Zayn and the Usos was S-class. I mean, it was a top-tier storyline going into the match.
Of course, we get it.
The match itself was a banger.
Yes.
The overall sentiment and aura of the match was fantastic. Like I said, I have a soft spot for KO. The first time I ever saw him was against Tommy Dreamer at Wrestling Reunion, and I immediately became a fan of KO. Since that day, to see him hold the tag team championships after, seeing him in like a hotel hallway. I mean, yeah, it was a cool moment for me personally. And like you said, it was the first ever tag team championship match that headlined WrestleMania. So it has all the makings. It was a great story, great match, and it had a historical significance as well.
So if we're both gonna rocket this bitch, then you have to agree then Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha gets rocketed right along with it because it's on that tail ass end, sir.
Okay, so this is where I would fight you a little bit on Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte. It was a banger of a match. it had the historical significance. What was the story going on into the match?
Well, the story going into the match was the ending of the Divas era, because keep in mind, this was during a time frame when Charlotte won the title, it was still the Divas Championship. Because keep in mind, she beat Nikki for that title, remember?
Yeah.
And that's when they transformed it into the women's wrestling era that it is now, something that Natalia wishes had to happen like 10 years earlier. I'm just telling you right now. That's his story. And not to mention, this was 3 of the 4 horsewomen main eventing that match.
That's true.
This
So
was the arrival of the 4 horsewomen as it stood.
I just know when we get into the top 10, we're going to be when we see each other in person, we're having a fist fight.
I mean, we'll see each other at the Intuit Dome when Money in the Bank pops off. And yes, that is damn near confirmed.
Yes.
But we'll see each other at the Intuit Dome, beating each other up over this shit. You won't be drinking, but I know I will. So I'll have a lot more duck if you buck than you.
Yeah, like you didn't already have the advantage being a fucking Marine.
I mean, hey. I've seen Marines get their ass kicked. That ain't shit. They ain't got nothing to do with it.
Let's get into number 29, The Undertaker versus Edge, WrestleMania 28.
Ooh. Ooh.
This is a good one. I'll give it that.
It's a good one. The problem is that this was the genesis of Taker and Edge through the year. Because remember, we did this before, and if I remember right, this was just the beginning of Edge and Taker having a feud for the title throughout the whole goddamn year.
Right.
I would put the Usos above it. I would put Charlotte and Flair, Charlotte and Becky and Sasha above it.
I agree with that.
Orton, Batista, I would put Orton, Batista, and Bryan above it. That's where it starts. It'll drop 3 spots at best for me.
Okay, then it gets a little tricky after that. Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair from the same event.
Oh, it's better than Michaels, Ric Flair.
Because Ric Flair fucked that up?
Yeah, Ric Flair fucked that up. Ric Flair fucked that up so much it should be 46. That's how Ric Flair fucked that up. To me, but, it's just me.
Don't worry, we're gonna fix this list.
Because trust me, if Roman and Taker was on this list, I would throw that bitch out the window. just this full disclaimer.
Okay, 28. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, WrestleMania 30.
Ooh, this was the best opening match of the Mania.
Okay, so hear me out here. I would put this under Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, but not over Randy, Bryan, Batista. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, because I would agree with that, because without that match, there's no implication of the second match. I agree with that.
Okay.
Although I will say this was the best opening, the greatest opening WrestleMania match of all time.
Number 27, Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 5.
Let's put a stake in that one.
Okay, so...
Because the storyline was probably one of the greatest storylines of the 80s. The Mega Powers and the Mega Powers imploding. And Savage, guess who's No reason at all. Hot dog it.
With lust in his eyes.
With lust in his eyes. He had a whole fucking monologue. He had a whole manifesto for Hogan. So I'm just saying, like, we will put a stake in it.
I will agree with that. Alright, 26. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 26.
Savage and Hogan. All the other matches you said will go above it. So I say it drops to right above Triple H and Daniel Bryan. It drops because it's a rematch. Granted, the greatest rematch. This is the greatest 1-2 match we've ever seen at Mania, period. However, the fact that it was a rematch and the fact that we knew Shawn was on his way out kind of ruins it. So that's why it goes down.
So it's going under Bryan and Triple H, between Bryan, Triple H, and Randy, Batista, Bryan, right?
I mean, unless you disagree.
No, I'm okay with that for right now. Alright. That will bring us to 25. Roddy Piper versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 8.
Who remembers this match?
I would arguably say this is Roddy Piper's most memorable match. His most memorable WrestleMania match, I would say.
What? More memorable than WrestleMania 1?
Well, I mean, other than WrestleMania 1.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's higher than that one. And that one you said had the sentimental da. So I'm just saying, like,
Well,
one of these things is not like the other.
So, this is how, like, I view it. It was the beginning of Bret Hart as a singles wrestler. This was what started he was on his way up while Roddy Piper was kind of on his way out, if that makes sense.
But it still drops nonetheless, sir. Drop that bitch.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Drop that bitch. It's going above. It's not better than Hogan Savage. It's not better than Edge Taker. It's not better than Usos. It's going down. I would say right below Orton, Batista, Bryan. That's perfect. That's a perfect spot for it.
So, below Orton, Bryan, and Batista.
Yes, personally, I would have it below Cena, Michaels, and Batista, Taker. But we're not gonna go there. We're not going there yet.
Okay,
so keep going.
Okay, so it's above Undertaker and Edge. I disagree.
Above Taker and Edge? I thought Taker and Edge was below.
Okay, so right.
We said Taker and Edge before. No, in between Bryan and Triple H, right?
Okay, so why is this? Okay, there we go. Right now we have where the fuck off? Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, 28. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. This isn't right. Okay, so we have. Hold on, just give me a minute here. This fucking thing won't go off. Fucking cold.
Now you see why I drink alcohol. Now you see why I drink more.
Okay, so we could. How about this? Right now we have Randy Savage, Ric Flair at like 35 24. So, is it above Randy Savage, Ric Flair from the same WrestleMania?
Is it above? No, because you can remember the storyline from Savage and Ric Flair, which was all about Miss Elizabeth.
Okay, so Piper and Hart is below Ric Flair and. For the sake of agreeing, I will agree with this until I could fix this list.
I know.
24.
24.
Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens from WrestleMania 38.
Now, this is another one where I was there. See, look at me, man. I was there for a handful of these. Look at me. Old ass nigga. Let's get 401k up. Anyways, get my Metamucil up. It was a good match. However, it wasn't really a match. It was an impromptu brawl. To me. Because the way it came about, it wasn't, I mean, when this got advertised, you knew Austin was going to do something. You just didn't think he was going to have a wrestling match. Now, as much as I liked the match and thought it was entertaining, in the context and looking at the storyline, it was a one-sided affair with Owens carrying this shit to antagonize Austin. Not to mention, Austin didn't do a lot of wrestling. It was just a lot of Austin. I only got 4 moves, kid. So to me, as much as I liked the match and I understand how entertaining the match was, and I understood the context of Austin being in Texas main eventing a main event WrestleMania, it's going down. Because Usos and Owens and Zayn and Charlotte, Becky and Sasha are better than those. As far as from a pure wrestling perspective.
No.
If nothing else from.
No, I agree with that. It's just
I know that soft spot killing you.
It's just a matter of where does it fit in all of this, I would say.
I think
I would say that there's a historical significance to it. I mean, Stone Cold coming out of retirement is a thing, is an event.
he didn't really come out of retirement. He just had it was a brouhaha, a Pier 6 brawl that a ref came and refereed.
I mean, true.
Tell me I'm lying. It ain't like they were like, Stone Cold's gonna go against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. They said Stone Cold's going to get interviewed by Kevin Owens at WrestleMania.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Two totally different. If it was been billed as Stone Cold's coming out of retirement to wrestle Kevin Owens, I get your point. But the simple fact that we didn't know if he was even going to do it until he did it is the killer for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So,
so like I said, it'll drop 5 spots. I would drop it below Orton, Daniel Batista.
I will. Okay, I'll bargain with you this way. It's under Undertaker Michaels too, but it's over Randy Bryan Batista.
Ooh. Over Randy, Bryan, and Batista?
Yes. I mean, the one.
I cannot, sir. And this is why I say no.
Okay.
Because as much as you have a soft spot, that match and the significance of the changing of the guard for that match was a game changer, more so than Austin and Owens.
I mean, there's definitely. It could be lower than even that because there's some matches on here that are way too low that we have. Like, I mean, Seth and Cody is at 45. That needs to get bumped up.
I mean, Cena Michaels, it needs to get bumped up.
Yeah,
But
and Batista Undertaker.
yeah, no shit. We gotta get.
Yeah, we need to get some of these up. But
Let's have a wild card where we move one.
okay,
We get to move one match to any position.
well, okay, all right. I will accept that. We have one black ball. We could have one match that we could move anywhere we want, and the other one cannot say anything about it.
Exactly. There we go.
All right.
Deal.
All right.
Deal, sir.
So, you say that this match should be under Randy Orton, Bryan Danielson, and Batista, but is it over Undertaker and Edge?
No.
Okay, so is it over Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we got that.
Because Ric Flair.
I agree with it.
Ric Flair could be full. Michaels Ric Flair could. I mean, as much as a good match that was, it could be lower. It could definitely be lower.
Yeah, we could definitely get that lower.
23.
23. The Undertaker versus CM Punk, 29.
Ooh.
This could be top 15 if I'm being completely honest.
It could be. Yeah. I agree. I'll say this. Taker CM Punk from a wrestling storyline. This was the best match at WrestleMania 29, and CM Punk was nowhere near interested. Like that.
Yeah.
He could give two shits about this, and he made it the best match of the night.
Yes.
That tells you everything that you need to know about this match.
Let's leave it at. I say we leave it at 23 for right now.
Put a pin in that one because the next one is going to be crazier too.
22. Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 21. Honestly, this is a top 10 match.
That is a good match. It's a fucking good match.
We literally was our WrestleMania watch along this year.
I know, right? We'll put a pin in that one.
Yeah.
Put a pin in those two because I think those two is going to go above 21.
Which is Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey, Triple H. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, WrestleMania 34. Yeah.
Personally, I would drop that bitch down. That bitch gotta go. That hoe gotta go. As much as I liked, and I was there, and as much as Ronda was impressive, it was more about trying to make Ronda impressive. Therefore, I would drop that bitch down. That bitch gotta go.
How far would you throw that down?
Where is Flair and Savage?
Flair and Savage is at...
No. Scratch that. Where is Batista Taker?
Batista and Taker is at 42 right now.
Bingo, right below that bitch. They
I would make okay. Do you feel like this was a better match than Triple H against Seth Rollins from 33?
it was a more entertaining match than Triple H and Seth Rollins.
Was it a better match than Triple H versus Sting at 31?
Yes.
Really? This was a better match than Triple H versus Sting.
Because it wasn't no shenanigans. At least Ronda Rousey was fucking everybody up. They made Ronda Rousey look like Superman, but at least she was fucking motherfuckers up one-on-one.
So.
No X-Pac.
No. I disagree. I think this should be under this should be number 48. This should, no, 47.
Ooh.
This should be under.
Well, I had it under 43, so I mean, shit.
This should be under Triple H.
As long as it.
In my opinion.
I had it underneath. As long as it's underneath Batista Taker, I'm fine. I don't give a fuck where you put it after that.
Okay, then we are putting it under Triple H versus Sting, because that's where I want this.
See, I'm reasonable. I have a bar. Just as long as it's below that bar, you can flip it wherever the hell you want.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Alright, we have 20. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 40. Obviously, there's recency biased on this one, for sure.
Recency bias. It was a great match. It was a great tag match. It was a great match in terms of significance as far as consequences for. I would pin this one right there because that match affected more than just Roman and Cody. It also affected Seth into the next night.
Right.
So I'd pin it for now.
Okay.
Me personally, I would pin it.
So put a pin in it. I will agree with that for now. This is Cody and Seth. 19. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, WrestleMania 37.
Black man in me saying they actually mentioned Sasha Banks.
I was thinking
Black
the same
man
thing. Like, Sasha Banks gets a nod on this thing, yeah.
But keep in mind, this was the first main event. See, I was there. First main event of WrestleMania post-pandemic. First main event one-on-one women's. First main event one-on-one women of color. It's so hilarious.
Yeah.
So, oh man, and they tore it up this match. I succinctly remember this match. They tore it up. The spot where Bianca literally was just like, gorilla press carrying her ass up the stairs is an iconic moment.
I say we put a pin in this one for the moment. Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 19.
Ooh. This was a good match, but was it their best match? I would say the Iron Man was their best match.
I was gonna say, this is probably, like, the best pure wrestling match, like, of all time. Just, because it's two of the best. But Brock does that shooting star press, nearly breaks his
That
neck,
almost killed him.
and fucks up the whole entire match because of it. It literally took the air out of the arena.
So do you think below, below, so will it go below Taker Punk?
I would say so, yeah.
All right, there we go. We agree.
Yeah.
Look at us. See, we started off fucking first, Steve.
Kurt versus Brock. There we go. I'm happy with that. Alright, 16. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania 39.
This is a rematch.
Yeah. The story was there, but the story wasn't as good as it could have been, if I'm being honest. The only thing
Well,
I
because
remember from the build-up was Charlotte's...
Rhea needed it
Rhea
more.
needed it.
That's what I felt like.
And Charlotte had that banger promo where she said, as much as things change, things stay the same. A Flair on top and a Rhodes for the chase. I mean, it had nothing to do with Rhea, but it was a great promo.
Hey, Tiffy about to find out today. So, I mean, Sunday. Or was it today?
I don't fucking know.
Do they wrestle night 1 or night 2?
I can't remember if they're night 1 or... I think they're night 1. Yeah. So
Well,
tonight.
she gonna find out today. So, fucking Tiffy about to find out today. So, shit.
I wouldn't put this... I wouldn't put this over Court and Brock, if I'm being honest.
I wouldn't put it over Banks Belair.
I mean, Banks Belair is over Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar right now. But only because we put a pin in it.
Yeah, we put a pin in it. But I would put... So is it better than Angle Sean?
Definitely not.
Taker Punk.
Definitely not.
So anything, anywhere below that, fine by me. I mean, yeah. Personally, yeah.
Let's put it...
Look at that. Taker Punk is starting to be our bar. The common bar. Is it better than that? If it's not better than that, then, you know.
15. Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 6.
8-year-old me, well, what, this was 5-year-old me was like, hell yeah. 40-year-old me is like, hell no. I mean, this was the first face versus face Mania.
Yes, correct. Okay,
First international Mania.
So this is how I put it. The storyline going into the match was significant because it was, like you said, face versus face. It had the historic, the historic see to it, because obviously, all of that. The match was the drizzling shits, but I digress. But this was, like you said, Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Batista. This was a changing of the guard. This was getting out of the 80s and the Hulk Hogan era into figuring out what the fuck are we doing that they didn't figure out for maybe another 5 years. You know what I mean?
So let's put that bitch below the changing of the guard that lasted longer than this changing of the guard. That's about it to me. See, hey, I'll let you talk me into it. Because I mean, Warrior Hogan lasted, Warrior's reign lasted, what, about a year?
Under a year. He
and guess who came back to save the day? Fucking Hogan. There you go. There you below.
below Brian Batista.
Below. I mean, I would put it below Taker Punk, but that's just me. That's our bar. Taker Punk is the bar.
I mean, currently Randy, Brian, and Batista is below Undertaker, Punk.
Yeah, so there you go. Well, that's the bar. So, and that changing of the guard, honestly, was more significant than that changing of the guard.
Okay, so let's just put it behind Randy, Brian, Batista for now.
Take it. Got it.
And we will figure out the rest when we get to it. Alright, 14. Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12.
Was this in Anaheim?
It was. The
First West Coast WrestleMania.
Oh, no, not the first, WrestleMania 7. If we're getting super technical, WrestleMania 2 was the first West Coast.
I mean, WrestleMania 2, but I'm just saying, like, WrestleMania, one of the pioneers of West Coast WrestleMania. First WrestleMania, second WrestleMania face versus face. First Iron Man match.
The beginning of the new generation.
New generation. This was the first main event of. Nah, because WrestleMania 11. Diesel Schmeichels was one. That was the one of New Generation because Diesel Shawn, and then Shawn Brett was the second one.
I say we put a pin in this one.
Pin it.
Okay. All right. The Rock versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 19. Number 13.
Not as good as 17.
I will agree.
Or I would say no. Let me scratch that. Not as big as 17.
Yes, I agree with that. And I feel like this match is better. Hindsight being 2020, because we knew it was. We didn't know it was Stone Cold's last match at the time.
I mean, it wasn't his last match if you fucking count him going against Kevin Owens.
Okay, but I mean at the time.
See, hindsight 2020, sir. These motherfuckers don't retire for shit. Only Shawn Michaels fucking retired for good.
No, he did not. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia.
Good point. Mm-hmm. None of these motherfuckers retired. Marty Jannetty, the only one who retired for shit.
Marty didn't retire. Marty got canceled.
Hey, and a murder charge will get it. But anyway, I would knock it down a couple pegs. The question is how far.
Okay, so this is my bargaining to you. It's over Undertaker CM Punk, but it's under Shawn Michaels Kurt Angle.
So in between.
In between, yes.
Ooh. Taker Punk was a banger. Take it deal. Because we get the wild card, so either way.
I know what you're using it on. Number 12. Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 10.
Ooh. First ladder match. that was advertised on pay-per-view because they have had ladder matches, but this was the first one that became of national prominence, if you will.
It was the first televised ladder match.
Right, the one that was on national TV. Like they say, you get it on TV first, it's first. So yeah, that makes sense. The storyline was tight because Shawn Michaels got suspended of the title, and he felt like he was still the rightful champion. Razor Ramon won the title in a Royal Rumble, and then they had the match. Not at the Royal Rumble, but in a Royal Rumble, in which the final two fought for the title and Razor Ramon won.
A battle royal.
Yeah, like a battle royal.
Yeah.
So the storyline was there. Michaels was there to interfere in the storyline because he kept peppering himself as the real champion. They settled it at 10. Yeah, I would put a pin in this one. Because it was probably honestly, I would put a pin in it because to me, I think it might be slightly better than the match before it.
I will agree with that for the time being. 11. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, WrestleMania 10.
Great wrestling match. Not their best match.
But this, I mean, whenever you have brothers in the match, I mean, it's a built-in storyline.
I mean, Jimmy and Jay ain't in this bitch. Jeff and Matt ain't in this bitch. Like,
I mean, if we were doing promo packages, their promo package going into their match was a banger.
we're way in spades. It was better, but anyway.
No. But what happened after the match? Because Owen wins the match, but Brett goes on later on in the night to win the world championship, and then Owen is like, "What the fuck?" So I mean, the wrestling was there, the story was there, the story before it was there.
Yes.
I mean, it kind of
because this story started with. Holy shit, I can't even think of the name of them. Oh no, this story started. Oh yeah. It started at Survivor Series.
And then it ended at SummerSlam, if I'm not mistaken.
No, because I'm trying to remember. No, this didn't end at SummerSlam, because keep in mind, he lost, Brett lost the title to Bob Backlund. This shit lasted from November of 92, no, November of 93 to November of 94.
I would say this was one of their better matches, if I'm being honest. And
the cage match was better. To me.
And I just say that because Owen went over. The little brother won and still got the shaft because the older brother went on to win the championship later in the night. I would say that there's a historical significance to the match, but it is a banger of a match. I think we could agree on that.
We can. I mean, but to me, like I said, the best opener match was Bryan Triple H.
Okay, let's say, let me ask you this. Was it better than Brett versus Shawn, the Iron Man match?
Was it better than Brett Shawn? Considering it went to overtime, Shawn won, and he closed the champion, no.
Okay, so that's where we'll have it for now. Under the Iron Man match. Okay, I think we could probably agree on number 10. Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 35. This is going in the 40s, right?
Not so fast, my friend. First women's trip. Well, actually, this was the first women's main event.
Yes.
First women's main event. First women's triple threat. First women's all the marbles. I was there. I would know. What kills me about great storyline going into it. I will say that.
Yes, the storyline going in was a banger.
It was a fucking banger because it was like you couldn't have picked it because Becky Lynch breaking her nose was probably the best thing because it was slated to be. Yeah, that's why all this happened. I will say that even with all that said, that the ending to the match was not what it was supposed to be. So that's why I think it gets dropped. I think it drops because of that. I personally think it's not better than its counterpart, which would be Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha. Me personally.
I will do you one better. Is it better than Randy, Bryan, and Batista?
I was at both. And and it's really tough. And this is why I say it's tough, because at the end of the night, everyone was happy. Daniel Bryan and Becky has this cult following. Like, I don't know, they will go to the ends of the earth to fight for their person. The one thing that's going to help Bryan is the fact that WrestleMania was the final WrestleMania in which it was 8 hours long and motherfuckers was ready to go at midnight. So yeah. That motherfucker, yeah. I will say it's below the Bryan bet. Because that context is key. Because keep in mind, the crowd wasn't really invested into it because they spent, I was there. We were there since like noon. Noon on a tailgating day. So 12 hours?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then to keep in fact that motherfuckers didn't get home. Oh man, did I ever tell you that?
I believe you did. The match. Becky didn't win the title until Monday, so that tells you everything.
Becky won the title. Becky won the title Monday night or Monday midnight, close to 1. People didn't get home until Monday 8 a.m. So
and then they had to go to Raw.
Did they have to go to Raw? Yeah, bro. Like at least New Orleans, you could walk your ass to Bourbon Street, but but that's a big difference. I'm just looking at it from that standpoint. Bryan won, everyone was happy. We walked our asses to Bourbon, and everybody had a drink. Becky Lynch won, everyone was happy yet exhausted because people had to catch the train to get back to New York, and New York was not in the train. And then it rained. It rained right. I don't know what Vince has, but sidebar. Vince has to deal with the devil because this motherfucker misses so many fucking rain. I've been to 10 of these hoes, and a lot of them be like, man, it's gonna rain, and it does not rain until after the Mania. And I'm like, what the fuck did he do? But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So
he beat God in a match, so obviously that was the deal.
That must have been the deal. But anyways, below, I would put it below Orton, Bryan, Batista.
Okay, I'm fine with that. All right, 9. Ultimate Warrior versus Randy Savage, WrestleMania 7.
Oh. How far are we going to drop this? Because is it better than Warrior Hogan?
I would say no. So
Put it underneath.
okay.
Anywhere underneath. I don't give a shit.
There you go. 8. Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 3. I think that
Biggest historical context, because it was the first WrestleMania where it was uber mainstream. Like, this was more mainstream than WrestleMania 1.
right,
Storyline was there.
100%. Historical significance definitely there.
The Superdome.
93,000.
93,000 at the Superdome. I mean, the Silverdome.
Mm-hmm. Pontiac Silverdome. Put a pin in it?
Put a pin in it. We'll put a pin in it.
Yeah. Versus Hulk. The Dudley Boys versus the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian, WrestleMania 17, TLC 2.
One hell of a match. Probably the best tag team match you've ever seen. However, it wasn't a tag match. It was more of a tornado tag match. And
I mean, if we're being technical about it, it's just a clusterfuck. But the best clusterfuck you'll ever see.
WWE meets ECW. That's basically what that was.
Yeah.
Is it better than Usos versus Owens and Zayn?
Now you're making me think here.
Because to me, I could say no from a wrestling standpoint. From a fucking crash test dummy standpoint, hell yeah, easy.
Well, I mean, for if you're going from a story standpoint, the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian were feuding for maybe like 2 years straight with these matches.
Yes.
So, I mean, the story was there. I mean, they did not. None of them liked each other. So, I mean,
not good enough to main event.
And but I mean, Stone Cold and Rock was on the top. So I mean, like,
I mean, Roman Cody was good. Roman's at the top. I mean, but it was a 2-night. I get your point.
So, and while Shawn Michaels and Razor walked, they walked so these guys could run. If I'm being
no, they didn't run. They wrecking balled that bitch. That was not a walk.
So, as much as I love the Usos and KO versus Sammy, I would say that this match would be over them.
So, are we pinning it? Is the question.
Do you want to pin it, or you want to have this debate?
I mean, we can have the debate, but I kind of feel like we're going to come to a consensus to pin it.
Okay, so let's, for argument's sake, say that this match is under the Usos versus KO and Sammy. Is this match better than Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte?
Yes.
Then I will give you that. Let's put it under the Usos, but over Sasha, Becky, Charlotte.
Because even with Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, the most memorable parts of this match are the memorable parts of that match are more ingrained than Sasha, Becky, Charlotte. The best thing about Sasha, Becky, Charlotte was when Charlotte had the figure eight, and on Becky and Sasha did the frog splash, which is pretty impressive. God knows what the fuck we can remember from the. Like, I could go from like motherfuckers hanging on the goddamn ladder, niggas getting speared, and all. And, it's just too much shit going on.
Lita taking her top off.
Yes, Rhino coming in, Spike doing. It was all a shenanigan, a clusterfuck,
Yeah.
if you will.
Mhm.
And I will give them that. Every tag team had a homeboy or homegirl that was willing to put their body on the line for the tag team titles. So I give them that.
Okay. Number 6, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 40. Obviously, recency biased, but this is just a hot take, and I'm not going to say this because I was there. Cody Roman 39 was a better match than WrestleMania 40. The only reason 40 gets the nod here is because
of the shenanigans at the end, and this is what I keep telling you, everybody. If you just remember more about what the fuck happened with the shenanigans, is it really worth the match? It's kind of like when Kenny and Okada fought the first time, and most people remember about them going over the top and hitting tables more so than the second match, which was a better match. And it was in the ring, and goddamn Kenny got the win. To me, yes, it's a good match. Great match. Historical context, because it was Cody's climb back to the top from failing at 39.
And it was the end of the 1,316 days.
Yeah, the longest title reign in modern history since goddamn Hogan. And I can still put points down because it took The Undertaker, it took Orton, it took Cena, it took The Rock, it took Fatu, it took Solo. Too much shit was happening at the end. Great ending, not knocking it. One of the greatest endings ever. But that also takes away from the fact that Cody was able to do it. Kind of like SummerSlam when Cody fucking was with Solo and Roman came in and fucked it up, and that's how Cody won, because of Roman. It wasn't because of himself, it was because of Roman.
Right.
So I can make the argument Cody didn't win because of himself, he won because of The Undertaker. Which is like, why the fuck The Undertaker would be there in the first place. So that's why it's gonna go down.
Is it a better match than Brett versus Owen?
Ooh. Wrestling, no. Memorability, yes.
So between Brett and Shawn and Brett and Owen?
I'll take it, yeah.
Okay. Number 5. The Rock versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 17.
In that bitch, you might as well,
Yeah.
storyline, wrestling package, the match, just pin that bitch. Pin. There's kids who are 8 years old and they can fucking know this goddamn wrestling package.
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit was never hotter.
Yeah. Limp Bizkit. Mm-hmm. Limp Bizkit makes this a top 5 match just alone.
Just with the fucking song, yes. The package was that's crazy. A package 2001 is probably better than the goddamn. I mean that story too. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Pin that bitch.
Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat, WrestleMania 3. This is number 4.
Ooh, now this is where it gets tough because I could put the argument Rock Austin over Savage Steamboat.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And the reason being is because as great of a match Savage Steamboat was, hey man, you didn't have the technology to put the biscuit in your shit. I'm sorry. Hey, hey, man, hey, bro, you a sucker of your time, sir. Like, hey, shit. I'm sorry.
So basically, if Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat had a video package with Limp Bizkit, they would have been over Rock Austin.
If they had a package that was similar to that, but it also was the timing, because I mean, Savage was the champion for a year, and we kind of figured he was going to move on from the Intercontinental title. Vice, Rock and Austin were like, I mean, those were two guys in their prime popularity.
It was literally 1 and 2 at the time.
I mean, 1 and 1A.
Yeah.
And you could make the argument for each one was 1 and which one was 1A. So that's why I think it's bigger. Honestly, it might as well just go. I'm full disclaimer. Might as well put that bitch right above Rock and Hogan at number 3. I'm just go ahead and just scoop that bitch on up.
Number 3, Rock versus Hogan.
Just scoop. Just go scoot that bitch on up, because Rock Hogan, as good as it was, past his prime Hogan.
Yep.
A little bit past his prime Rock.
I would say it was past his prime Rock, but I don't think that they did what they wanted to do in that match.
Declining Rock, past his prime Hogan, not a good mix.
Number 2, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
I pin it because it was the only double turn ever that was successful.
Will you have this?
Pin it.
Pin it? Okay.
I would pin it. I mean, I don't know about you. I would pin it.
I'm fine with pinning it for the moment, because we need to rearrange these bitches. Alright, and then we have Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25 at number 1. I have no quarrels about that.
No quarrels about that one. Yes, we can agree on that. Taker Michaels.
Okay, so we're at least unanimous about what is number 1 on this list.
And what is number 50? See, unanimous about those. Everything else up for debate. All right.
Okay, so let me pull up a new document, because this is we're gonna be here a hot minute to figure out this shit. And we will figure this out 100% right now. Okay, number 50, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. Do you agree?
Yes.
Number 49, Undertaker versus Triple H, 27.
I'll take it.
Triple H versus Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 33.
Yeah.
Triple H versus Sting, WrestleMania 31. Actually, no. Wait. Number 47, Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
You take it. It's not Triple H is at the bottom. like Triple H is Triple H is holy shit. And he's going to the Hall of Fame this year. My bad, man. My bad.
Give me a minute to write all this shit down. Kurt versus Triple H. Stephanie. 46. 46, Triple H versus Sting.
Jesus. I mean, at least you're the top 50 Triple H. Yeah, we'll take it.
Okay. 45, Cena versus Rock.
Yes. One. Cena Rock one.
Yeah. From 28. The once in a lifetime that they did for a second time.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yes.
44 will be Seth versus Cody. I disagree with
This
this.
is a nice bump. I disagree, but that's a nice bump.
I mean, yeah, 5 spots, but I feel like it could be.
I mean, 6
higher.
spots.
Huh?
I mean, it could be higher. From 50 to 44?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Well, let me ask you this: is Seth versus Cody a better match than Mick Foley versus Edge from 22?
Mick Foley and Edge has a better moment that happened in the match, other than the fact of Cody coming back. That was the moment of the match.
Okay, so you
If that makes sense.
so you are fine with Seth versus Cody at 44.
I'm fine with it because the simple fact was that as much as it was a good match, the moment was Cody being back rather than Edge and Foley. The moment was Edge spearing Foley through a goddamn table on flames. Like,
yeah,
like gotta got a winner there, John.
43, Mr. T and Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff.
I would have thought this be lower, but hey, I get your historical significance, even though I'm as old as that match is. Anyways.
So you will agree with that?
I will begrudgingly agree.
Well, what would you put it below?
I mean, in terms of ambiance and shock, it's no different than Seth Cody.
I would just say historical significance. I would say that it was over.
Yeah, that's the only reason you're putting it there, because it was the first. That's it.
So you would just bump it down 1 compared to what else we had here so far.
I'm just telling you right now, would you just go? I've never seen anyone go, yeah, let's just go back and watch Hogan and Mr. T versus Orndorff and Piper. Like, or Orndorff. Piper and Orndorff with Bob Orton in the goddamn corner.
42, Mick Foley versus Edge.
It practically stayed where it was. Started at 42, ended at 42.
Okay. 41. Undertaker versus Batista.
I would think that would be higher, but I would have it over Taker Styles, but I lost the coin toss, so it is what it is.
We'll leave it there for a minute. Undertaker, 40. Shawn Michaels versus John Cena.
Okay, yeah, I mean, up 3 spots, I'll take it.
Michaels versus Cena. 39 is Undertaker versus AJ Styles.
It should be lower, but I lost the coin toss. It is what it is.
38 is Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus.
Up a spot, considering where it started and everything's shifted. That's not bad.
Well, I mean, are you okay with this? We could switch things around. That's why we're counting this down.
Oh no, we got those wild cards in my pocket, so that shit's gonna get moved anyway. So that's what I'm like. All right, let's get to these wild cards.
37. Um, 37 is Becky versus Belair.
Down one spot. That's not bad. Yeah, I'll take it.
36 is Brock versus Roman. 31.
So Brock, Roman, Seth,
Yeah.
which that match drops from. Oh no, that match went up from 40, so it went up 4 spots. Okay, yeah, I'll take that.
35 is Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. Kofi Mania.
Literally didn't change, so I guess that it's meant to be.
Would I put Kofi Mania over the heist of the century?
That's the question. See, this is what
Yeah.
black man winning the championship over the only cash in at that time in the main event, or the only cash in at the main event of the wrestling.
I would say yes, because it was a feel-good moment and not a shocking moment. Would you agree?
Which one, Seth or
Kofi and
Kofi?
Bryan.
Kofi was.
It was the feel-good
Kofi,
moment. It wasn't the
Oh
shock
my!
moment.
I'll put it like this: people were crying that Kofi won.
Yeah.
No one was crying when Seth won.
I mean, they might be crying because Roman lost, but yeah.
I mean, I know, no, because no, you were there. They booed the shit him. They booed him the fuck out the building.
I mean, I was cheering for
I
Roman
still-
at that match, so
I still got the photo of him looking up and looking at the crowd, and it's like they booed the fuck out of him. Like, yo, son, that crazy.
okay. So, Roddy Piper versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 8 is at 34.
34?
Yeah.
Is that better than Kofi Mania?
I would.
In the heist of the century?
Okay, so I would put it over Mick Foley and Edge, but under Undertaker and Batista.
Oh my god. My brain, I felt a pain pop in my head. Oh, wait. Under Batista and Edge. Oh no, under Batista and Taker.
But over Foley and Edge.
Which is what, in the 40s?
So if it's over, that would make it 41, and Undertaker and Batista would be 40. So everything gets bumped up one.
Flip a coin. Call it, sir.
Well, I mean, you're okay with Roddy Piper and Bret Hart being 34?
I'm not okay with them being over the heist of the century or Kofi Mania,
Okay,
but I'm not okay with them being underneath Batista. I mean, over Batista and Taker.
no. It's under Batista and Taker. So take Batista and Taker would be 40. This would be 41.
Got it. Okay. Oof. Boy, don't.
So we could agree on that.
All right, bet.
Okay. Hold on. Need to update this shit. This is now 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34. So Kofi Mania is 34 now.
Mm-hmm.
So we are up to 33. And that would be Randy Savage versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 8.
Are we dropping this?
I would put this under maybe Becky and Belair?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is 36 now. Savage versus Rick. This is now 35, 34, and 33. Okay, so Kofi Mania is now 33. So 32, Taker versus Edge.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds weird for me to say that.
Taker versus Edge. 31, Ultimate Warrior versus Randy Savage.
We're dropping that, right?
I would say that this goes under Cena versus Rock, but over Triple H and Sting.
I will not argue that.
My thing of it is,
It did main event, and it should have been Flair Hogan, and I don't know why they didn't go Flair Hogan, but
no. This would be the year before Savage Flair. So it would be. This was when Miss Elizabeth came back to Randy Savage at the end of the match, and Randy Savage retired. I would make the argument it loses some luster because he literally main events the next WrestleMania.
who?
Savage.
He main event WrestleMania?
WrestleMania 8.
Oh yeah, because it was no, because it was. Wait a minute, this is Flair Savage we're talking about,
No.
or Flair.
Well, Macho versus Warrior.
Oh, but so he main evented the one prior because Savage lost that match.
Okay, no. Randy Savage and Warrior was at 7. Career versus title. No, career versus career. Then WrestleMania 8, Randy Savage wrestled Ric Flair for the championship in Hoosier Dome.
Then why the fuck did Savage lose and then come back and win the title? That's weird, but that's a whole.
Yeah. Um, Savage versus Flair. Boop. Oh, we forgot one. Oh, we skipped a couple matches. Well, let's just say this was 31. Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair.
31 Michaels versus Flair. No. Should be lower, right?
Should it be? I mean, like, it should be closer to 1, or it should be closer to 50?
That's a great question.
I would say I would put it under Undertaker and Edge. And let me ask you this: is it a better match than Undertaker versus Edge from the same Mania?
It has a better memorable moment, but yeah, match was better. We're shitting on it because fucking Flair didn't retire after.
Yeah. Was it a better moment than Coffee Mania?
Ooh. I think recency bias, more people will remember Kofi Mania, I would think.
Was it better than the Heist of the Century?
No.
Was it better than Becky versus Belair? I say no. I think that's our line.
That's the line.
It's at 33 now. Rick versus Shawn. So we have that at 33. 32 goes to Roman and Brock. Heist of the Century. Coffee Mania is at 31 now. And Undertaker and Edge is at 30. Okay, so yeah, so we are at 29. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold versus KO.
Better than the Heist of the Century?
I would say no. Was it?
There's our bar.
Okay, well, was it better than Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels? I would say no. Was it better than Belair and Becky?
In the same night. The audience might say yes. Heavy Texas crowd.
True, but storyline, impact. I would definitely say that it's better than Ric Flair versus Randy Savage from 8. Would you agree with that?
Okay. I'll agree with that.
So, better than Savage and Flair, but not as good as Becky and Belair.
Got it. I'll agree.
Okay, so that will be 34. Stone Cold versus KO. Now we have this at 33. This is at 32. 31. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 115. 116. 117. 118. 119. 120. 121. 122. 123. 124. 125. 126. 127. 128. 129. 130. 131. 132. 133. 134. 135. 136. 137. 138. 139. 140. 141. 142. 29, 28. Right, Warrior versus Hogan at 28.
Hmm.
I feel
Better than the heist.
for historical significance, I would say yes. This would be 28.
Leave it be.
Alright, so Coffee Mania stays at 30. Hogan. 27. Becky versus Ronda versus Charlotte. Um, 35.
Hmm. Hmm. Better than Warrior Hogan?
Um, yeah, I would say so. There was maybe a little bit more Gaga in it.
Then it stays where it's at, then. I would think.
I thought you were gonna want this maybe higher, but
Oh no.
you still
I
have
know which one.
26. Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Batista, Dirty.
I feel like that one should be higher, but it just feels like that one should be higher.
So we're okay with that one?
It feels like it should be higher, but we'll leave it as it is for now.
I would say that Bryan winning the championship was maybe low key a bigger moment than Kofi Mania.
Yes, well, yeah.
Alright, then we'll at least agree with that. 25. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. WrestleMania 26.
WrestleMania 26.
The retirement match.
Oh, Michael's Taker.
Yeah.
I can stay.
I agree with that. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, WrestleMania 30.
At 25.
24.
Or 24. That's a good spot for that one.
I agree. This is the highest Triple H has been on this list so far. On all list.
Triple H been at the bottom, bro. I'm sorry. I mean, hey, it's higher than Triple H Warrior. Like, what can we say?
Yeah. 23. Sasha, Becky, Charlotte.
I swear that's a top 10, but I will pin it for now.
Okay. Versus Becky versus Shaw. 22. TLC 2 from WrestleMania 17.
Damn, that bitch fell far.
Yeah, that one's going up. That one's definitely coming up.
That fell farther than I thought. Like, holy shit. Yeah, that bitch fell from 7 to 27?
So, no, 22.
22? Yeah, 15 spots. Will it beat?
We're definitely pinning that bitch when we get closer.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in.
21. Usos versus KO and Sami Zayn.
I mean, that one jumped 9 spots. Us being there got put that bitch.
You know, I might
Us being
put a
just
pin in
being
this one because I
put,
think that this might go higher.
us just being present put that bitch 9 spots. Anyway,
20. Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 4. This,
okay.
um,
Considering what's at the top.
I'm gonna wanna pull this one back a bit, if I'm being honest. I mean, the story was there, obviously, clearly. It was a big moment in the 80s.
80s.
I don't think the match was maybe as good, and it didn't have a long-term effect on pro wrestling. So I will say, was this match better than Daniel Bryan and Triple H?
One I saw when I was 5, the other one I saw when I was 30. uh, um, from a, from a consequences effect, no.
Okay, so was this a bigger match than Shawn Michaels and Undertaker from 26, the rematch?
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay, so this goes to 24, Randy versus Hulk, and then Bryan and Triple H gets bumped to 23. 22 is Sasha, 21 is TLC, and 20 is Usos. So see, things are already getting bumped up. Alright, 2019, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
I feel like that should be lower.
But like how much lower?
Is Charlotte Rhea better than Becky and Charlotte?
Charlotte and Sasha? I would, maybe I'm an asshole for going there, but was this better than Becky and Belair?
Both had their retribution angles. I think the biggest difference is that people were more tired of Charlotte than they were of Becky.
True. I would make the argument Becky and Belair had the better match. That would make this match 33. Would you feel comfortable in playing Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte at 33?
Over Becky. Yes, because it was the simple fact that this was a rematch from when they had a match and Rhea came up short versus Bianca going against Becky, and it was that 20-second
Squash.
Not even 10 minutes, it was like 10-second squash that everybody was like, what the fuck? And that's what started That's what kept Bianca afloat the whole time.
Was Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair a better match than Stone Cold versus KO?
Stone Cold and KO wasn't really a match, but that's just I keep telling you, it was impromptu.
Okay, so you would be okay with putting Ripley versus Charlotte over Stone Cold and KO?
Considering it was a match, yeah.
Versus sure. Okay, so need a minute to update this because everything is getting bumped. One
Shit's getting bumped, son.
shit is getting bumped. You could play the Jeopardy theme while I update the brackets. Four, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, and now we are at 18. Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. I would, hear me out, I would put this over. I would put this over Daniel Bryan and Triple H, but not as good as Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte. That's my opinion.
Not as high as. I'm inclined to agree.
Huh?
I will agree with that for now.
Okay, so 21 goes to Kurt versus Brock. That bumps Sasha and Becky to 20. TLC gets to 19. 18 goes to Sami and the Usos. And now we are at 17.
Maybe the Usos are like creeping.
Yeah, creeping. Undertaker versus CM Punk at 17.
Ooh, that's where it stops. Or not. I mean, as good of a match that was, it was not a main event.
I think we could agree that that should stay where it is for the time being. Unless you think...
Yes.
Unless you feel the Usos versus Sami Zayn and KO was a better match.
Had better implications.
If you want me to put it over, if you want me to put Sami and the Usos over Undertaker and CM Punk, I could do it.
I mean, I don't mind it. The question is, do you?
I don't mind it. Do you think Undertaker and CM Punk was a better match than TLC 2 at 17?
Ooh. TLC 2. Wrestling standpoint, yes.
Memorability, though?
That's a good question. They're both memorable in their own right.
Would you put this match over Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair?
Ooh, god damn, man. Why you gotta put me like that?
That's where I would draw the line. I would say that this match was better than Becky, Charlotte, and Sasha, but not as good as TLC 2.
I'd say it would stay where it's at then. Because as much as that match was great, it was no real ramifications in that match.
So you agree with me, or you wanted to
Keep it.
so over Becky and...
Or is it going lower?
I mean, right now it would be at 19. If it's been
19, okay.
Okay. Oh,
19's not bad.
19. Undertaker versus Punk. TLC gets bumped to 18. Usos gets to 17.
Uso's creeping on the come up, right?
And that brings us to 16. Stone Cold versus The Rock, WrestleMania 19.
I really thought that would be lower.
Where would you... I mean, we could always bump it up.
Why would I bump it up when the better matches in the top 2?
True.
Or top 5?
Would you say that this match was better than... I mean, low-key, I kind of want to leave it where it is, but I kind of want TLC and the Usos to get closer to top 10. Would you say this was a better match than the Usos and Sami Zayn?
No, because the Usos Sami Zayn had a bigger context to it.
Would you be okay if this was at 18? Which is below, it's a better match than Undertaker and CM Punk, but not as good as TLC 2.
I think Taker Punk is better than Austin Rock 3. This is the third iteration.
I would be okay with putting this under a Punk and Taker if you want it. So that would make this Austin Rock 19. Rock. Then we have 18, which would be okay, I'm getting a little mixed up here. Austin Rock 19, Undertaker Punk 18, TLC 17, Usos versus Sami 16, and that brings us to 15, which is Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle 21.
Ooh,
Yeah, let's leave that there.
yeah, that's gonna stay right there.
Yeah. 14, Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth.
Ugh. As good as that match was, is it better than Usos, Sammy, Kevin?
I say no.
There it is.
No, hold on here. I would say that it's over the Usos, the TLC, Punk and Taker, or Austin and Rock. So really my bar right now is, was it better than Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte, which is at 20.
I'm sure you're gonna say yes.
I'll leave it to you. Is Sasha and Becky and Charlotte a better match than WrestleMania main event for 40?
I I mean, you know how I feel about that match. So
It goes over Rock and Cody and Seth?
if I had my way, I it would. But then again, I have the black ball, so we'll figure out where that goes.
I will give it to you. You don't have to blackball it. Rock, Roman versus Seth and Cody. So that makes Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte 19. Rock Austin 3 18. Undertaker versus Punk 17. TLC 2 16. Usos versus Sami Zayn 15. And Kurt and Shawn Michaels 14. So that brings us to 13. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for 37.
And
Would you say you're okay with it? I don't think.
okay with it.
I don't feel like I'm okay with it.
Oh gosh, higher or lower?
Much higher, I would say. I don't think it was as. I mean, yeah, it's a historical match, but I feel like the triple threat was a better match. Rock Roman is maybe a better match too. I would have this in the 20s, if I'm being completely honest.
Really?
I would say that this would be over Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte, but not as good as Randy, Bryan, and Batista.
Ooh. All right, flip a coin. Go ahead, sir. Call it.
Tails.
It's heads. You lose.
So this stays at 13?
Stays at 13.
Fucking coins. Versus Bel Air. Okay, 12. Brett versus Owen. 10. WrestleMania 10. I'm okay with where it is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll let it be.
11. Cody versus Roman. 40.
Ooh, the recency bias puts that one high.
I wouldn't have it. You know, honestly, I would have it at 19. It would be over Roman, the tag team match that they had. But, oh, do I really want to put it over Sasha? I would think the match would be better than the Sasha Becky Charlotte match.
Yes. Although, man, my mind is like.
Is it better than Punk versus Undertaker?
Yes.
Is it better than TLC 2?
Considering the effect of night two, see, that's the problem because it's night one versus night two. Considering the implications that happen the next night, yes.
But we're not talking about WrestleMania night 1. We're talking about night 2. Oh,
No. What I'm saying is, considering the implications it had in how night two would play out, yes.
So it's over TLC?
Yes?
Alright, I will give you that, but I don't think it's over Sami Zayn and KO versus the Usos. That's where I will draw the line. Fair enough?
Oh no, it's not over. It's not over that. It's not over that.
Okay. Roman and Cody is now 15. Usos get bumped up to 14.
Look at them creeping up from 30 to 14. Look at us.
Kurt and Shawn is 13. Sasha and Belair is 12. Owen versus Brett is 11. And now we're in the top fucking 10. Almost there.
Who's in the top 10?
Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels Iron Man match.
That's 10. Jesus Christ.
I agree with
Pin
that.
it for now.
Scott Hall, Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels ladder match.
At 9 from 10. Yeah.
Keep it at 9?
Yes.
Okay. Number 8. Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan.
Personally, I would have, from a wrestling standpoint, the previous two matches over this one.
I would be okay with that.
Okay, there we go.
So, Andre and Hulk goes to 10. Shawn versus Brett goes to 9. And Shawn versus Razor goes to 8. And that brings us to 7. Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat. I think we'll leave that there for the time being.
No, pin. We'll pin it.
Yeah. Randy versus Rick. Then we have 6. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. WrestleMania 18.
Oof. From a wrestling standpoint, it should be below the others. It was a great, moment with the stare-offs, but then the bell rang.
Would you say this match was better than Andre Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
Really? I say no.
Really?
I would put this at 11. I would put it right after Sasha Belair.
You get no complaints from me on that.
Yeah, but I mean, Sasha and Belair, if this was just me, they would not be in the position they are right now. But I say that it's better than Sasha and Belair, but not as good as Brett and Owen. Agree?
You think, wait a minute, you think Savage, oh no, not Savage, you think Rock Hogan is better than Banks Belair?
I do.
We disagree there.
Okay, so you're you wanted to put it at 9. I wanted to put it at 11. So I mean,
Well, then where the fuck is Belair and Banks?
at 12.
I would put I would put them at 12. Then.
They are at 12.
No, Rock Hogan at 12.
Okay, so I will not accept that Sasha Banks and Belair is better than Hogan Rock. So
Flip a coin.
I'm going with tails again.
Tails, and it is heads again. Oh my God.
It's heads.
Back to the bus. Yes, back of the bus.
You fucking cheater.
Why would I cheat? If I was going to cheat, I would be right every time.
How the fuck did Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks get that to number 11?
I know you're rusty on AEW Sasha Banks, but WWE Sasha Banks was fire.
I know. But I don't think it was her best match.
Nah, that was her best match.
Alright, Rock versus Hogan, we've missed matches here. Rock versus...
No, you just doing a bunch of moving. It's moving day.
Rock versus Austin 17.
And that's number
5.
I feel like that should be 2, but
Yeah.
no, what's 2?
That's why I said we're missing matches here. Where are we? How did we get here? Because we're Rock, Undertaker, Charlotte, Randy Savage first. We did Randy Savage. We did Warrior Savage. We did Warrior Hulk. How the fuck did we miss matches here? Did we do Randy Savage versus Rick? Yeah.
Yes.
Don't know how we... What's going on here? Got 4... Stone Cold versus Bret. 3... Okay, how did we... Okay, we're missing 2 matches from this this list.
Did we cover
Okay, hold on.
Roman Cody?
Yeah, right now we have Brock Goldberg, Undertaker, Triple H, Seth, Ronda, Court, Triple H, Stephanie, Randy Warrior, Rock Cena, Seth Cody, Mr. T, Hulk Hogan, Mick Foley. Where are we missing matches here? Or did I miscount here? 8, 47, 46, 45, 44, 40. Eight, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. I mean, we're definitely missing 2 matches here. I just can't see what matches we're missing.
Let's see.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, Shawn Michaels versus. Yeah, Cena is here. Roman, 31, yeah, Gunther. Oh, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle. Where did we miss that? Okay. I mean, where would we put that one? I feel like that's a top 10.
Better than. Because who's 10?
Right now we got Brett versus Owen at 10.
So is it better than Brett Owen?
Sentimentally, yes, I would say so.
Oh, sentimental. Oh. I'll let you have it since you've been getting your ass handed on these coin flips.
Alright, so 9, Eddie versus Kurt. That makes,
See, I'm a reasonable man.
that brings, Eddie versus Kurt at 9. Andre and Hulk is at 8. Shawn versus Brett is at 7. Shawn versus Razor is at 6. Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat is at 5. And that brings Stone Cold and The Rock to 4. So that brings us to our next missing match, which I will tell you in a minute when I find it. WrestleMania 10, Cody Rhodes, Becky, no, it's Undertaker, Triple H. We did Piper Hart for sure. Undertaker, Punk, Kurt Angle. We did Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey. Oh, Undertaker.
Yes, we did.
Undertaker versus Triple H, WrestleMania 28. So.
Oh, the rematch.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I would have. Well, what would you have that? Is it better than Cody versus Roman?
Technically, yes, on the simple fact that the shenanigans that happened in that match were within the match. It didn't have Undertaker coming out for no reason.
Okay.
So yeah, I would put it above just because of that. Because at least when Shawn was in the match, he was the ref in the match, and he was doing the shenanigans himself.
True. Okay, but I think it's not as good as Sammy and the Usos, right?
Yeah, because Sammy's and the Usos didn't have shenanigans.
Okay. Triple H at 14. So Sammy and the Usos get to 13. 12 for Shawn and Kurt. 11 for Hulk and Rock. Fucking Sasha Banks versus Belair is at 10 now.
Damn, fucking.
Brett and Owen is at 9. Eddie and Kurt is at 8. Andre and Hulk is at 7. Shawn and Brett is at 6. Shawn and Razor is at 5. Red, uh, Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat is at 4. And Stone Cold and The Rock is at 3. So that brings us to 2, which was Stone Cold versus Bret Hart, I Quit match. Or submission match, technically.
Ooh, was that better than... I mean, even though that match is going in the Hall of Fame, was that better than Austin Rock 17?
I would say no.
So Austin Rock 17 too.
I would put this. It was better than Bret and Owen. The line I'm looking at right now is Andre and Hulk. Is it better than Andre and Hulk, or was it?
Yes.
Okay. Then we are at 6 for Stone Cold and Bret. And Bret. And that makes Shawn and Bret 5. Shawn and Razor at 4. Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat at 3. Stone Cold and The Rock 2. And Shawn Michaels and Undertaker at 1. Okay, I think that the Shawn Bret Ironman match was better than the Shawn Michaels Razor match. Would you agree with putting Bret and Shawn at 4 and Razor and Shawn at 5?
Yeah, both were championship matches. Both were the first of their kind. The only big difference is that one went to overtime and the other didn't.
One was for the Intercontinental. One was for the World Championship. One ended a rivalry, and one sprung out the most real personal rivalry of all time.
I personally think that rivalry was there since 93. But that's, I mean, not even 93, 92. But that's just me.
I mean, it was a part of the rivalry. It added to, I would say.
It did more than that. I'll give it to you since, Corn's been kicking your ass.
Alright. So, would you like to go over our top 50 list? Since it is 100% complete.
I mean, we did all this work for the fans. Why would we? You might as well post this on. You might as well post your document online too. Shit.
Oh, I'm definitely
PDF format. PDF so it doesn't get fucked.
Okay, so we have Brock versus Goldberg at 50. 49 is Undertaker versus Triple H from WrestleMania 27. 48 is Triple H versus Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 33. 47 is Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H from WrestleMania 34. 46 is Triple H versus Sting from 31. 45 is Randy Savage versus Ultimate Warrior from WrestleMania 7. 44 is John Cena versus The Rock, 28. 43 is Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, 38. 42 is Mr. T and Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff, the first WrestleMania. 41, Mick Foley versus Edge. 40, Roddy Piper versus Bret Hart. 39, Undertaker versus Batista. 23. 38, Shawn Michaels versus John Cena. 23. 37, Undertaker versus AJ Styles, WrestleMania 36. Um, 30, 36, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, WrestleMania 39. Randy Savage versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 8. 34, Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens, WrestleMania 38. Um, 33, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 39. 32, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, WrestleMania 38. 31, Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels, 28. 30, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 31. 29, Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 35. Undertaker versus 28, Undertaker versus Edge, 28, WrestleMania 28. 27, Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 6. 26, Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 35. 25, Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan versus Batista, WrestleMania 30. 24, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 26. 23, Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 5. 22, Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, WrestleMania 30. 21, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 19. 20, The Rock, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 40. 19, Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 32. 18, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, WrestleMania 19. 17, The Undertaker versus CM Punk, WrestleMania 29. 16, TLC 2. 15, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40. 14, Undertaker versus Triple H, end of an era at WrestleMania 28. 13, Jimmy and Jay Uso versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, WrestleMania 39. 12, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 21. 11, The Rock versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 18. 10, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. 9, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, WrestleMania 10. 8, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 20. 7, Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 3. 6, Stone Cold versus Bret Hart, submission match, WrestleMania 13. Number 5, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, ladder match, WrestleMania 10. 4, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart, Iron Man match from WrestleMania 12. 3, Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat, WrestleMania 3. Number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, WrestleMania 17. And number 1, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. Are you content with that list, Kaliko?
Considering that we haven't used our blacklist. Yeah. So do you want to use them or no? That's the question.
If you use yours, I'll use mine.
Ooh. How dare you try to dare me?
I'm okay with a lot of this. I mean, the the one that really sticks out in my head is Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair at 10. Um,
Ah,
but but like other than that, I'm genuinely okay with this. Like I could maybe, maybe not even that. I mean, there's a couple of matches that could maybe be higher, but I wouldn't necessarily like use a black ball on it.
you wouldn't veto this list is the question.
Yeah, I mean it. Again, the only thing that really sticks out in my mind is Sasha Banks and Belair, and that's it.
Why?
I don't think that's the top 10 WrestleMania match, but that's just my opinion.
I mean, you had to have been there, bro. You had to have been at 10.
I mean, maybe.
See, that's the thing, because it's a. I can say this. I saw that. I mean, I was there, and that's not even without bias. However, the buzz coming out of that match was crazy. It was a bigger buzz than the triple threat match, that's for sure, at 35.
Well, yeah, because it was the match took place after midnight.
It was in the same time zone, sir. But that ain't the point I'm making. The point, it's just like it. The buzz was crazy.
Well,
And we were talking about Sasha Banks being the Shawn Michaels of fucking WrestleMania at that point. Lest you forget.
will you use your black ball or not?
If I were to use it, I would really replace that match with the triple threat match from 32. But that's just me.
So you would replace Sasha Banks and Belair with Becky, Charlotte, and Charlotte.
Yeah, because even though both matches were the matches of their WrestleMania 32, that was the match of the night, unequivocally.
Would you be okay with Sasha and Belair being 19 and Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte being 10?
Yep, I would bump their asses real quick. I told you that's a top 10 match. I don't know why you kept arguing with me. I told you that's a top 10 match for me. Every time we had that that bloody bracket, I put that match in I picked that match.
Yes, you did. Alright, well, let's swap it. Sasha and Belair is now at 19, and Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte is at 10.
You can exhale now?
Let's see.
I mean, because you got what you wanted. You wanted the Usos at 14 in the top 15. Which I wouldn't argue. I would not argue that.
I'm just I'd be okay with bumping the Usos from 13 to 11 and put Rock and Hogan at 13.
God damn. That's your black ball?
That's what my black ball is going to be. Usos.
Hey, there it is. See, you used your black ball, I used mine. There it is.
Usos versus KO and Sammy at 11. Hogan and Rock
Right below mine.
Loki, honestly, I could have done like one of the top 10s just to bump Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte out of the top
You
10.
could have.
I
You
could have.
could have.
I was nice.
Yeah, you're being generous.
I'm being
Very
nice.
generous, sir.
All right. Well, that was painstakingly long.
Although I would say, hey, put this in a poll, put it on Twitter. Which one is more accurate?
That's not a bad idea. We might throw that up for the people to decide.
Actually, I'm in Vegas. I'm in Vegas. I can walk around with both papers and be like, which list is accurate? I will be at various events and I will ask, hey, which one is more accurate?
Record that bitch and we'll put it up online.
You know what? I'm going to a tailgate. I will definitely do it.
Okay. There you go. We will have results in the coming weeks.
Coleco Chronicles is back in 2025. Fuck Elon Musk. Anyway.
Alright, well, this will conclude this episode of Wrestling Wit. Thank you for listening. If you're listening on WrestleMania Saturday, God bless you, because, and literally God bless you, because it's literally Easter as well. It's Holy Week.
Literally and figuratively blessed.
Yes. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, but on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Saturday. Well, join us this Tuesday as we interview Robin Zane. This Wednesday as we interview Jake DeLeon. And next Saturday for a full review of WrestleMania. Yeah. Night 1, Night 2. We might even do NXT as well, and maybe even a preview of TNA. They have like a stacked fucking card in Los Angeles next week. So, yeah, a lot to talk about next week. It might even go longer than this episode. Probably not. God willing not. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Twitter, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Keep up with Wrestling Wit on all social media, Thread, X, Instagram, Wrestling with E. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
Hey, I am Coleco, but then you'll find me in Vegas. So if you see me running around drunk, just say, what's up? Give me a picture. Be careful because I got a little 9-year-old with me. So but other than that, we gonna be all good. But it is WrestleMania weekend. I've never been more excited. And I'm ready to go see Punk main event. Right about now. Right about now.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I've never seen. You know what's funny? Never seen Punk at Mania in person. First time seeing him, he's main eventing. Because remember, I thought he was gonna be at 30, and then this motherfucker ditched us. But that's a whole different story.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I am James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Lord have mercy. Oh, I wish we had that fucking soundboard. Or we gonna play the Travis Scott song.
Oh God.
But we might get copyrighted.
Yeah, no.
But he might bust our eardrum because he doesn't know how to fight. So I don't know what we got to
What's the lesser of two evils here?
A busted eardrum or a lawsuit?
Yeah, let's just be quiet. Silence is golden.
Maybe I could break Travis's kneecap real quick. Like, I think I can take him. I could take. Now I know I could take. Now you got me. I could take Travis Scott. I'd be like Jeff Cobb on Travis Scott.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.